well, he said he would do it at the beginning, and now it seems as though he's being forced to do it at the end.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting situations where the devil's in the detail, and Bloomberg also reporting that according to sources, the banks are kind of braced for this borrowing notice that should have come Tuesday. Then the money that the banks have pledged in the form of debt would go into escrow Thursday. And as you said, Caro, he's told these bankers that he fully intends to close the deal by 5 p.m. Friday. You know, the Twitter stock reacted in a way you'd expect. It got closer to the $54.20 per share offer price. And it's kind of a soft indication from the street that, yeah, we think we're at a place where this deal is going to get done. And the mechanics of it are such that, you know, they're moving in that direction. I would say we'd already reported a week ago that, you know, bankers and advisors on both sides have been acting diligently to meet that 5 p.m. Eastern time deadline on October 28th, which was set by the Chancery, Delaware Chancery judge. So we know where we stand. Yeah.
And of course, later in the week, 26th, we get Twitter earnings. Talk to us about the earnings you've just been digesting. Talk about the conversation you had with Ruth Porat at Alphabet.
Yeah, I mean, Alphabet, you know, missing on the top and bottom line, interesting. You know, clearly this is a challenging environment for them. In that conversation with Ruth Porat, she kind of gave some granularity on the pullback in ad budgets across brand and direct ads, particularly on YouTube. But ultimately, she gave some detail on the macro picture, right, which is that the macro environment remains challenging. And, you know, this is a quarter in which all big tech companies that derive profits from, or sales, I should say, from around the world are facing currency headwinds. But, you know, the point in the middle there, the sequential deceleration was primarily driven by lapping. What Porat's saying is we're comparing this quarter to what was, frankly, an astonishing quarter in the same period a year ago, where they saw just incredible double-digit top-line growth as they recovered from the earlier stages of the pandemic. That's an interesting trick sometimes that executives use to point you to a comparison with a strong quarter.
But analysts, many across the board ahead of earnings, analysts have been downgrading their outlooks to companies. And so it's always a jolt when they miss them. So I think, what does the read across? How are you thinking about what she's talking about in terms of YouTube, in terms of advertisers? What does this mean perhaps for tomorrow for Meta?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that there's broad weakness in the ad space, right? When we had Snap's earnings last week and they scrapped guidance and they had their slowest growth on record, they gave some pretty granular detail about the pullback by advertisers. The question from the street was, is this specific to Snap because of what they're offering, struggling to gain traction with advertisers, or is this more widespread? And in the commentary we've had from Ruth Porat and other Google or Alphabet executives, you can see it is more widespread. And I guess that builds some concern going into Meta earnings this Thursday.